Okay, hi boys and girls. We're going to start today's lesson by watching a quick video. So, here we go.
Why should we be responsible for doing a good job? When we are responsible, it means that we can be trusted to follow through with things. And that makes our friends, family, and teachers trust us. There are many ways to be responsible. You may be a responsible caretaker for a grandparent, a family member, or a pet. You may be a responsible member of your community who is in charge of the neighborhood watch. Or you may be a responsible classmate who shows teamwork when you share supplies while working on a school project. Some people, like doctors and police officers, are responsible for the health and safety of others. Think about how much responsibility surgeons have when they perform operations. Doing a good job should be everyone's responsibility. This week, you will learn that responsible friends respect and help each other, communicate well, and include everyone in their plans. Why should you be responsible for doing a good job?
Here goes the fire truck, it's going on a run. It takes a lot of good teamwork to get the big job done. Roger drives a truck, he knows just where it goes. And Anna is responsible for hooking up the hose. The firefighters work to get the job done right. Our whole community feels safe, morning, noon, and night.
Okay, so now this week you're going to learn about the suffixes ly. Let me switch. Hang on. So this is the suffix ly. Let's listen to it.
Loudly.
And show it. So that's the ly suffix. Now we have the ful suffix.
Cheerful.
And there you go. er.
Painter. Sailor.
And the last one, ish.
Greenish.
Okay. So, boys and girls, now that you've seen that presentation, you are going to work on page 385 in your readers and writers notebook. Yours looks a little bit like mine. Readers and writers notebook, page 385. All right, kids, so before you work on page 386 in your readers and writers notebook, that I want to go over your high frequency words with you. So these are words that you'll find in both our song of the week and our story of the week. So I want you to be looking for these words as you read those, as you go over the song again and as you read the story of the week. So the first word is building, building, burning, burning, masks, quickly, roar, station, and tightly. So I want you to go ahead and do the work on page 386 in your Readers and Writers Notebook. And then shortly I'm going to play the story of the week for you. All right, kids, this is your story of the week. It's called Firefighter, and the genre is literary nonfiction. And let's go ahead and enjoy the story.
Genre: literary nonfiction tells about a true event or a series of events like a story. Look for true events in the day of a firefighter. Firefighter by Angela Royston. Question of the week: why should we be responsible for doing a good job?
It is busy at the fire station even when there is no fire. Liz is checking the hoses. She wants to make sure they screw tightly to the truck. Dan is polishing the fire truck wheels. Anthony is upstairs in the kitchen looking for a snack. He is always hungry. Suddenly, a loud noise makes him jump.
Let's think about: what do you think will happen next? What makes you think that? Read on to confirm your prediction. Predict and set purpose.
Ring, ring, ring. It is the fire alarm. Anthony slides down the pole. Thud. He lands hard, but the thick rubber pad on the ground cushions his feet.
Let's think about: how do firefighters react to the alarm? Important ideas.
Liz jumps into her boots and pulls up her fireproof pants. She checks the computer. It shows the fire is at 7 Oak Lane. In the truck, Liz grabs the walkie-talkie. "Chief Miller, we're on our way." "Right," says the fire chief. "He has gone ahead in a special fast car. I'll meet you there." Liz starts the engine as the firefighters jump in. She flips on the sirens and lights and drives out of the firehouse. The truck speeds toward the fire. Cars and buses stop and wait when they hear the siren coming. The fire chief calls Liz. "I'm at the fire scene. It's an old house that's been empty for years. But someone saw a young boy playing on the porch this morning. He might be inside the house. Tell Dan and Anthony to get their air tanks ready." "Okay, Chief," says Liz. "I can see the smoke from here. We'll be there in 2 minutes."
Let's think about: besides the fire, what is the other problem in the story? Important ideas.
Liz turns the corner into Oak Lane. Flames cover the top of the house. The fire is spreading quickly. There's no time to lose. Liz hooks a hose from the truck to the nearest fire hydrant. A pump on the truck pulls water from the hydrant to another hose. Liz and another firefighter point the hose at the flames. "Ready," calls Liz. Whoosh! They hold on tight as the water shoots out. It comes out of a fire hose hard enough to knock a person down.
Let's think about: what does this picture show about how fires burn? Important ideas. Let's think about: 3 firefighters are holding the hose. What does this tell you about the hose? Important ideas.
Anthony and Dan are ready to search the burning building. They have put on their air tanks and face masks. Each tank holds 40 minutes of air. That's not much time. The boy's name is Luke, the chief tells them. Right, says Anthony. He grabs a hose. Let's put the wet stuff on the red stuff, says Dan. Dan and Anthony run to the back of the house. The fire is not as bad here. Dan feels the back door. If it is hot, flames could leap out. It's cold, says Dan. They step inside. Thick black smoke is everywhere. Anthony shines his flashlight around. Luke! Luke, he calls. No one answers. I can hear fire upstairs, says Dan. The fire has damaged the staircase. It could fall down at any time. They climb up the steps very slowly. Outside, the outriggers are set down on the ground. Outriggers are like legs. They keep the truck steady as the ladder is raised. The ladder goes up like a telescope.
Let's think about. Here's a good place to ask a question, such as, why do firefighters touch the door? Questioning.
To the top of the house. A hose runs up the side. The firefighter on the ladder shoots water down on the fire. The flames crackle and hiss. They get smaller, then suddenly jump even higher. Inside the house, the fire rages. It is hot enough to melt glass. Anthony sprays water on the flames. Fire has made the house weak. It could come down any second, says Dan. We must find Luke. Boom! A beam crashes down near them. But their helmets protect their heads. Crash! Quick, says Anthony. We're running out of time. They come to another door, but it will not open. Dan swings his axe at the door. Once, twice, 3 times. It's jammed, shouts Dan. The roar of the fire is so loud they can hardly hear. We'll have to use the electric saw.
Let's think about, what does this photo tell you about firefighting? Inferring.
Anthony switches on the saw. Whirr. He cuts a hole in the door big enough to climb through. Luke, calls Dan. Luke? But the room is empty. Suddenly the chief calls, get out now! The roof is coming down! Dan and Anthony race downstairs. They get out just as the roof falls in. We didn't find Luke, yells Dan. He's okay, says the chief. We just found him up the block. Phew, says Dan. Good news. Hours later, the flames are out. Anthony sprays water on the parts still glowing red. He is tired and dirty and very hungry. Liz winds the hoses back onto the truck. Finally, she rests. She is tired too. Back at the station, Anthony sits down to eat. At last, he says. Suddenly, a loud noise makes him jump. Dinner will have to wait, laughs Dan. Ring, ring, ring. Practice Edith. Exit drills in the home. Do you know what to do if a fire starts in your home? Don't wait until it happens. Sit down with your family now. Talk about how you would get out of the house. Plan at least 2 ways out of every room. Decide where you will all meet once you get outside. A fire drill now could save lives later.
Let's think about, why does the author tell you to practice Edith? Important ideas.
So, boys and girls, that was actually a really good idea. And I think that now that you are home with your family, it might be a good idea to practice some of those things. So our video got kind of long. I'm going to stop here and I will make another video for the rest of your language arts lessons for the day. Okay? So this is the end of this video.